Okay, last but certainly not least is this sequence of transformations. So, hate to be a broken record, but same method. Find the orientation clockwise and find the orientation of the image. A to B, B to C, clockwise. If they're the same, it cannot be a reflection. It's either a translation or a rotation. If you look at your pre-image, you can see, hey, that thing is not like, it's not facing the same way. It's, it got spun, all right? So that can't be a translation. That is definitely a rotation. And since it's only moving one quadrant, that's like a rotation of 90 degrees. And this is actually, I'm going to pause you, because you might be saying, I'm a little confused. You can kind of see how this blue thing is above the x-axis, and then when you rotate it, shouldn't it also be above, this axis? And you're right, it should. So they kind of, this question's messed up. There's another transformation going on, but for the sake of it, chalk it up to the people who wrote this question not being good at their jobs. They messed up because they're cheating. They can't say, hey, this thing's A and this thing's A prime, because that implies that something else happened in between. And if they're using multi-prime notation, they can't hide a transformation on you. They need to be clear. So we're going to pretend like, hey, only thing that happened was a rotation of 90 degrees, because the point of this activity is to get you to see that orientation matters, and then to recognize a translation from a rotation. Since this object is getting spun, since A is no longer at the top left, it got moved to the top right, it can't be a translation. It had to be a rotation. So I recognize, something's off. And that's why we're going to end here. The other problems I had planned are even worse, some of them. So let's finish it up, and let's look at the orientation of the double prime, right, that double prime. So it goes from A to B and B to C, and that is clockwise. So I see I've got clockwise and I've got clockwise. So once again, that can't be a reflection. It's either a translation or a rotation. And I can see in this one, from the red to the green, I can literally pick up my object. I guess I drew it too slow. Let me redraw this. I can literally pick up my object and just slide it on up. So if I can slide it, there's no spinning involved. It's not a rotation. It's simply the last thing is a translation. And it's just a matter of, well, what's the shift? What is the move in X and what is the move in the Y? And I'm just going to pick A, and I'm going to count boxes. In the X, I don't move horizontal. I move nothing. So you could just leave it X, or you could say X plus 0, whatever. But in the Y, I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going positive 4. So to end it, this would be a rotation of 90 degrees, since it's shifting one quadrant. It's not going, 2 quadrants. This thing's not getting, from here, that's like 90, and then it would have to land up there to be more than 90. And then it ends with that translation. So this is probably enough time for the videos and the practice, but if you're super diligent, will be the word of the day that I use, you might have finished early. And if you'd like some bonus, I'll give you a couple more practice problems to work on, and anything you do, I'll use as bonus points towards a quiz, or since I'm feeling generous, an exam. It's up to you. If you hear this, you're probably doing your work, so hats off to you. Come talk to me. I'll see you. Thanks for class.